Yeah, man. We are back. Like I said, I'm keeping a foot on the next man, DJ Chase. I'm back. I've been under the weather, man, but you know what it is, man. This episode is brought to you by College Radio Directory. Use the promo code DJ Chase and get connected with college players, curators, podcasts such as myself, and also Groover. Get real feedback, the hottest platform that allows you to get in touch with players, curators, music reviews, and get your content reviewed by real people, not bots. But today we got Greensboro, North Carolina's own, the one and only About Time in the building. What's going on?
What's good with you?
Ain't nothing, man. Just learning this Carolina life, man. I'm one of the New Yorkers that made my way down here to Charlotte. So you know what I'm saying? No, I know you kind of don't like us down here, but I try to show love. Oh,
Nah, actually, I'm from up north. I'm from Stratford, Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay, got you. I'm just from from down here a little bit.
Yeah, I moved
Okay.
down here when I was 13, so I've been down here for a minute, but I always
Yeah.
always claim up north.
Oh, okay, got you, for sure, for sure. Now, I want to talk about your background a little bit. Like I said, you've been, grinding for a little bit on my research. I've been kind of like, following your career. You hit me up and you contacted me. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. And you have some good music. You do a lot of things, and you working, you grinding. With
Hmm.
that being said, okay, so you can't now let's touch on the beginnings. Let's start with the beginning. So you grew up in you say Stratford, Connecticut, right?
Yeah,
Okay, got you. How long you been out here?
I've been down here. I think I'm 39, so I've been down here for about 26 years.
Okay, got you. And what was
Yeah.
like the change like being like, because I take it you got like Greensboro, North Carolina, like the good parts of it early
Mm-hmm.
before the high rent and all the people came down here. So
Mm-hmm.
how has North Carolina changed and since you've been down here?
Man, it's trying to keep up with other major cities and states. Like when I moved down here, man, it was slow. Like they didn't
Yeah.
have buses, they didn't have 24-hour diners and stuff like that.
Mm,
And seeing is like they're trying to make it more city like than down south like
mm,
is a big change. Is a big change. Cause when I got down here, man, it was slow.
mm,
It was like, what? Y'all ain't got no buses. And then they came out with the Uber and the Lyft. And then now we got bus routes and stuff like that. So,
mm.
yeah, it's been a drastic change.
Got you. For sure. And did you go to high school down here, college down here?
Yeah, I did go to high school. I
Mm,
went to Walter Williams High School in Burlington, North Carolina. Then I went to Cummins High School. Then I ended up going to alternative school.
mm,
And finally got my high school diploma through Alamance County
mm.
courses.
Okay, got you. And with that being said, like, what is spot? Because you play sports, I think I follow your Instagram. That's you that's playing sports, or that's your daughter?
Nah, that's my daughter. That's my
A daughter.
superstar
Okay,
right
got
there.
you. I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. I was looking at your Instagram. I'm like, damn, I'm playing sports. So that's what I'm saying.
Nah,
So
that's my daughter. That's my superstar right there.
for sure, for sure. And was your were your parents like involved in music, anything like that? Like, did they do music?
My dad, I grew up on 80s music. My dad
Yeah.
played everything from Naughty by Nature, Run DMC, DMX, Nas. I mostly learned about hip hop through him.
Got you. And with that being said as well too, like who inspired you? Like at the time, because North Carolina didn't really have too many rappers back when it could be around the same age. I'm 38, so we know North Carolina didn't really have. They didn't have a lot of rappers.
Nah,
Uh,
they
who, who,
didn't.
yeah, who did you listen to growing up? Like more northern music or like
It was more northern music.
mm,
KRS One,
mm,
Busta Rhymes, DMX, The Locks, Jadakiss. He's on my top five.
okay,
Jay Z, Tupac, of course, Biggie Smalls.
yeah,
When I got down here, J. Cole, man.
J
J.
Cole,
Cole. J.
mm,
Cole.
got you. So you like the more lyricism stuff, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, that's more of what I write. I'm working on a collaboration album with the artist out in Mebane, Young Yankee. So
mm.
we got different tracks on the album. I'm more of a lyrical writer, but this album has really like made me step out of the box.
Got you. And what is because I look at we talked off air a little bit, but I know that you said in another interview that you had a little bit of addiction journey, and we won't really talk too much about the addiction, but how did that lead you into music? Like just started writing poetry, or expressing yourself. How did
I've always
yeah
wrote in high school. I always wrote. I actually wanted to be a journalist
oh wow
when I
okay
was going through high school. I
yeah
always wrote, man. It was my way of getting my feelings out. Always wrote poetry. Always, wrote. like kind of articles, essays, and stuff like that. How I actually got into the whole music thing, it's crazy that you asked me, but I was a partner. I was partners with a guy at my job. We was partners for about 4 years. We was working night shift together, and he raps, and he always tried to get me to come down his house and rap, and he would play beats all night. And at the
Mm,
time, I was going through a really dark time in my life, and he played one beat, and I grabbed a notepad and I just started writing, man. I just
mm,
started writing. So that morning we went to his house and we recorded, and because I started recording in living rooms, like
mm,
so. We had started recording together and I started hearing myself. So like one day I had the courage just to put like a snippet on Facebook and everyone was like, damn, that's hot, da da da, blah blah blah. And throughout the course of these 2.5 years, I elevated into going into a studio.
mm.
Shout out to Digital Lab Recordings down in Winston. My engineer Jay, he is, man, he is fire. He
Yeah.
is he is fire. So going back to my old stuff from 2.5 years ago, going to now, how I sound, I sound more comfortable in the booth. I'm starting to get my cadence. I'm starting to discover my sound. Like, yeah, it's
Mm.
it's been a journey. It's been a journey.
For sure, for sure. I love that. I love that for you. And with that being said, as well, so do you like more the studio better or do you like performing better? I see you do like a lot of freestyles. You've been on your promo runs. You've been hitting the
Studio.
stage. Studio better?
Studio ain't nothing like being in the studio, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you catch an engineer that actually knows what he's doing and he's like a whole nerd
Mm,
behind the things, and y'all sitting there and just y'all connecting. It's a
yeah.
deep chemistry, a deep connection, because it's hard to find that, man.
Mm,
It's a lot of people that are like, yeah, $50 an hour, $45 an hour, and they got like a nice setup, but your
mm,
shit still sounds like you recording, you know what I'm saying, at home. So it's been a different experience because I'm
mm,
so used to recording in the closet at home, and it's like,
mm,
you in the comfort of your own home, and then you got to share your talent with somebody. But
mm.
he's teaching me a lot of things about the whole music business, how it's just more than writing and recording, like
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
marketing,
Yep.
promotion, building relationships with DJs, doing
Yeah.
interviews and stuff like that. So it's like I have a lot of people I've been meeting along the way, along with yourself, that's just dropping gems on me, and it's like I'm a
I
sponge,
try.
man.
I
Like
try. I try.
because you know the difference between you'll
Yeah.
meet a DJ or something, and they're like, all right, 100, 200 for the interview, and then
Nah.
they do the interview or whatever, they collect their change, and then it's done.
Nah.
It ain't no promo,
Uh,
it ain't checking up on you. Hey, how you doing with the music business? So it's kind of hard to
yeah.
decipher.
Yeah.
All right, are you really fucking with me, or you know what I'm saying? Do you just
Yeah.
need some change in your pocket?
Yeah, yeah, that's and unfortunately, because honestly, a lot of artists they come to me. A lot of people come to me, and I don't work with just any artist. And they like, oh, I'm like, bro, I don't need the money. Like I DJ, I could book the DJ, and I
Yeah,
tell a lot of artists, I'm like, bro, like it gotta be a give and take too. Like you can't just like, yo, DJ, play my music. It doesn't, that ain't gonna
yeah,
help. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, but I appreciate that. And with that being said, where has been kind of like your favorite place to perform? Like, where has been your favorite place to perform?
Greensboro, Flatiron. I don't know what
Uh huh.
it is about that place, man. It feels like
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
I had stepped out the music scene for a little bit, mostly to
Mm,
focus on my daughter's, AAU, and focus on
yeah.
my job, my career. And I had an artist. Shout out to Kush the Rapper down in Greensboro. I
Mm,
had an artist. He started doing shows or whatever, and it was his first show. He asked me to get on the show, and I haven't like performed in probably 6 or 7 months. And I don't know what it was about that performance, man, but I felt myself and I felt my spirit come back alive.
mm.
And ever since then, man, like the pen has just been going crazy. Like the creativity, my visions, collaborating with different artists, different DJs, different promotions. Yeah, it's been insane.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, now that's a great thing. And with that being said, you know what I'm saying? I do want to ask you this, right? Like being can I ask that an LGBTQ artist in a sense,
Yeah.
have you dealt with anything like as do you feel like, you know what, that kind of helps or kind of hurts you in a way?
Actually, in today's society, man, it kind of helps.
Helps, yeah,
Not everybody is against it.
yeah,
Um, Actually, people they're excited to see,
yeah.
stuff like that. Like, I've
Something
seen
different.
some, yeah, I've seen some promoters actually do showcases just for, us,
Mm,
for our community.
yeah.
So it's just like, especially with Greensboro, man, we have a lot of undiscovered talent,
Mm,
and just to see them support you, man,
yeah.
is good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good.
Got you, and I appreciate that. And with that being said, right, my show is dedicated to education. I always want to ask like this, right? Like I said, you're moving around, you're doing things on social media, you're moving. How important is like interacting on social media as far as like with your fan base and reaching out? Like I said, reaching out to DJs, promoters. How important is it to have your social media look a certain way?
Very important.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, a person will hear your track, and if you engage the listener, if you caught the listener's ears, they want more.
Mm,
So if you don't have a social media platform, a IG, a Facebook, a TikTok, you know what I'm saying? You just got that one listener for that 3 minutes and whatever seconds, your track was playing for. So I think, to have a link, to have a Facebook, to have an IG, for people to look at your journey from the start to the finish to where you are now, like, it inspires people that actually want to do music, but they don't have the courage to do it.
mm. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And with that being said, do you have any videos coming up? Like, do you have like any
I actually
videos? Yeah.
have a mic drop. I collaborated with DJ Eastside,
Mm, yeah, yeah.
out of Charlotte, Two Chains DJ.
Mm,
He does a mic drop called The Garage down in Charlotte.
yeah.
Um, they're actually editing the content now. I dropped a snippet on my Facebook and my IG probably about 2 weeks ago. So that's rolling out in the next 2 weeks. Friday, Saturday is a major show. Shout out to Eddie Ruger. It's his album release and his birthday party, and we're actually doing a lot of content that night. That's
Yeah.
gonna roll out for the single that I got now, Draft Night, featuring Young Yankee and Eddie Ruger. So it's a lot of stuff, man, in the arsenal. It's a lot of stuff.
Got you, got you. And with that being said about Tom, how did you come with your name about Tom? Because your real name is so different. How'd you come with that name?
It goes back into you mentioned earlier, my struggles with addiction, man. I was an active user for about 15, 16 years. I got clean at 31. If God willing, I'll be 8 years clean July 9th of this year.
Mm,
About time is really, man, it's like about time I stepped into my potential. I'm walking in my purpose. It's about time I done something different. It's about time I go for mine. It's so many things behind the name, but yeah, that's how I came up with the name.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And with that being said, being said, the new single Draft Night, the one I like a lot. You know what I'm saying? How did that record come about? Well, first of all, who produced that record, and how did that record come about?
Produced that record, a producer, Key, he's down in Florida. Um, I have been collaborating with him for the past couple months, man. His beats are crazy, man. How did that record actually come about? It was seeing my daughter play a basketball game.
Mm,
She had started on the bench and kept wanting to quit. And how I was raised and how I am, man. You got to put in the work before you see the blessing, and you may have to put in years of work. You may have to put in months of work, whatever. And just seeing her, start from the bench, and then she finished out her season starting in 6 games. It was a big inspiration. That's really where, and then tied into my journey
mm.
of just, man, just coming from the bottom, being the underdog. And, at the end of the day, you could do whatever you want to as long as you put your mind to it, as long as you put the work in behind it. Like, you could pray for a blessing, but if you ain't putting no work behind it, it's just an unanswered prayer.
Yes, yes, yes. And about time. You know what? Like I said, it's almost that time. And with that being said, man, we gonna do this again. Your energy, you just got that real vibe. You feel me?
It's a pleasure,
You
man.
get
I thank you for
straightforward. For
I
sure, for
thank you
sure.
for yeah, I thank you for taking the time out, man,
Of
to
course, of
listen.
course. It interests me. It's not about the bread, man. It's about the opportunity. And like I said, I talked to artists, and a lot. One thing that really struck me with you was like you actually reached out. You were very humble. You was very respectful. So many artists they be like, "Oh, your little platform." I'm like, bro, I'm internationally famous. Do your homework on me. You feel me? Like, know who you
Yeah.
talking to. Like, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I know you got the collaboration album coming out, and I want to ask you this, right? Where do you see
Mm-hmm.
yourself? Where do you see yourself in maybe 1 year in your music career?
A whole bunch of videos out. Hopefully working on my actual album. A lot of networks in the pocket. Just man, just grinding full force and having these dreams come true, and just showing the next person, man. You could start from recording in the living room, and go to the studio, and it really doesn't take much, man. You can save $20 a week, and next thing you know, you got enough to at least book one session. Never stop, man. Never stop grinding. You could take a rest, but never stop grinding. Stay
Yeah.
consistent, stay vigilant, stay hungry, and stay humble, and stay teachable. Like I tell myself every day, man, I don't know nothing about this stuff, but I'm willing to learn something new every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, let's get it. And my very, very last question about Tom. You know the vibes. I mean, you kind of hit on it in there a little bit. But with that being said, my very last question is, man, you've been working, you've been grinding, you put on for your daughter, you put on for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You talk about your journey, your struggles. What is one piece of advice that you would give anybody besides what you said, trying to get into the music business today?
Be yourself.
Mm.
Be yourself. For every rapper, there's a clan of listeners, even if you haven't found it. Just because it's trending today, don't mean it's trending tomorrow. Try to make a record that has longevity. Try to make a record that people will go back to in 2 or 3 years and play it. Um, that would be my advice.
Yeah, and you know this, man. Once again, about time. Where can people find you? Where can people get in contact with you? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Where can they find you?
Facebook is under my name, Tiffany Zapata. TikTok About Time 2. IG About Time 86.
Yeah, you know this, man. Once again, DJ Chase, the pregame party minutes podcast right here. WDJCDB DJ Chase Radio, man. I've been grinding, lost my voice, but with that new single draft night out now, featuring Young Yankee and what's his other name? Eddie
Eddie Ruger.
Eddie Ruger. You know this, man. Uh, Greensboro, North Carolina zone. The pregame party minutes podcast. DJChaseRadio.com. Download that mobile app, iPhone, Android. DJChase.net, Spotify podcast, Apple Podcast, and YouTube DJ Chase TV. And we are out of here.